Hey guys, it's Cristina from Slithering Hearts. Jeremy and I are on our way to Rockland, California to meet someone at a gas station to purchase 2 venomous snakes. So, for the record, I do not like snakes. We are putting the slithering in the Slithering Hearts. I do not like snakes. I do not like snakes at all. Snakes creep me out. I have never liked snakes. I don't know if I will ever like snakes. I am not kissing a snake, Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Cristina.
And we're Slithering Hearts. So, if you tuned into this video hoping to see someone stick their hand in the box with a cobra and pull it out and possibly get bit, you're going to be sorely disappointed. You got clickbaited. I apologize, but I had to do it. So,
He's not sorry.
Today, we're kind of unboxing. Actually, they're in deli containers that are already visible. Hognose snakes. So, first one here. So there's 2 kinds of venomous reptiles. The first ones are what you guys are thinking of. These have fangs in the front of their mouths that either move or that are fixed. And those fangs are like a hypodermic needle. And when they bite you, they have glands in the back of their neck that shoots out of venom into you and is basically like getting a shot of venom. Those are some of the deadliest animals in the world. What we have here is a hognose snake, Western hognose snake specifically, and they're what's called rear-fanged venomous. So first off, they don't have glands that produce venom. They have kind of a saliva that has some irritants in it that can kill small animals. But mostly to a human, it's more like a bee sting or an irritant, if anything. Some people don't react at all. And those fangs are way in the back of their mouth. So if they can't just snap at you and envenomate you. They've got to bite on and chew into you. The second thing to realize about these guys is that they rarely bite. They bite when they think that there's food. But as far as defensively, they have a bunch of other stuff. First, they'll hiss at you. Then they'll do this thing that is sometimes called mock biting. It's almost like pecking like a bird where they'll slam their little shovel nose into you over and over again. And then finally, they will actually roll over onto their back, display their bellies, stick their tongues out, and then release an awful musk. And some people think that this is kind of playing dead. But some people actually think this is actually, it exposes, in the wild types, they have, yellow and black markings on their tummy, and they eat a lot of toads. So some people think it's a way of announcing, hey, I eat toads, and I have toad toxin in me. Don't eat me. Either way, they almost never bite defensively. What's his name, Cristina?
This is Ziggy.
So Ziggy is a super anaconda, extreme red, hognose snake. As you can see, the extreme red should be self-explanatory. Oh, and he's also het albino. So the extreme red should be self-explanatory on this guy. He's got a beautiful, almost burgundy color of red. Absolutely gorgeous snake with that deep red mask. Now, and what anaconda does for these snakes, so anaconda is what's called a codominant gene. That means if you have one parent that's an anaconda, you get one thing. But if you have 2 parents that are anaconda, you get something very different. So first off, one parent being an anaconda, that's not him, but we'll see one of those in a future video. It creates a snake that has small, almost round spots down their back and very few markings. But when you breed 2 anacondas together, you get what's called a super anaconda, which is what this guy is, where they have no markings at all. And beautiful red snake. And then het means he doesn't show the trait albino, which means albinos do not produce melanin. So this guy is het for albino, which means he can pass it on to his offspring, but he isn't albino. He actually has, and you can kind of see some darker tones in his mask that are really pretty. And who's our big girl?
Stardust.
Okay. So yes, we like David Bowie in this house. Stardust is about a year older than Ziggy. So she's about 2 years old. She's a female albino extreme red. So again, extreme red, you can see here. And then the albino removes melanin. So you don't see any dark markings on her. They're all kind of a reddish orange. She's actually a very pretty girl. Not a super high-end snake, but with the other one, she'll make some nice babies. And as you can see, that little flickering tongue. And the red eyes you often see in albinos. So, as Cristina told you earlier, she is terrified of snakes. And she's never touched a snake. In fact, this is probably the closest she's ever been to a snake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel up to touching a snake?
Maybe his tail.
There's his tail.
Keep his face away from me. He's kind of soft.
Yeah, he's super soft. Told you, snakes do not feel how you think they feel.
No, I didn't think he'd be slimy. And I hope Clyde and Bonnie and Rebel, I mean, I know that the reptiles are not creepy, slimy critters.
Would you like to try to hold him? And you can see the long tongue flicks. That's indicative of a snake who is very much in curiosity mode.
Still not ready for his face. His underbelly's pretty.
Yeah, he's got, and that's part of the superconda, that straight black underbelly with very little markings. The anaconda does that. Here, let's just put him in your hand.
Okay.
Was that scary?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. His face!
Put underneath his chin here.
I don't want to touch his chin. I'm not ready for his chin. It was bad enough his face touched me.
Well,
I am not kissing a snake, Jeremy.
You ready to touch a big snake, Cristina?
Can we try to keep her face away from me? Thank you. She's not as soft as Ziggy.
And you can see here as Christina's petting her on her belly that she has some yellow markings. Now, in the normals that aren't albino at all, the belly will be black with those yellow markings, and it kind of marks like a bumblebee, or yellow and black in nature means poisonous, or I can hurt you, right? It's like a threat. So these are these guys. They are actually native to North America. These are American snakes. They spend you could see they have these little upturned noses and shovelly faces. That's because they dig a lot. So for now, we're going to put these guys in some temporary enclosures. It's kind of ghetto fabulous what I've set up, but you guys will see it in the video here. With aspen bedding. Now, Dav Kaufman has done some research with these guys in the wild, and he's found that during the hotter months, they actually move off the grasslands where they normally live, and they go to marshes, and this is where they eat a lot of the toads and amphibians. and because the ground is cooler at the marshes. So one of the things I'm considering is that in the summertime, possibly moving them off of aspen and putting them on some coconut bark and sand that's maybe slightly damp, up the humidity, not make it terribly high, but up the humidity a little bit and maybe give them a little bit more of a natural environment. We'll see how that goes. I haven't decided yet, but let me know in the comments if you think that's great. Also, let me know in the comments if you want me to do a video on genetics. I will link Clint's Reptiles video on genetics down below just so you can learn the terms and that kind of thing. He does a great job. He's an actual biologist, but if people want to see it, I'll do one as well. Just mainly the purpose of this channel is to show you the animals that we have, show you our breeding program, what we're doing, the good, the bad, the mistakes we make. We want to be as open with the community as possible. So when you buy a snake or a lizard from us, you really know their history. You can research as far back as you want to go. And so really for us, YouTube is more of a documentation on our animals than it's an attempt to make a living. We want to make a living breeding and selling these animals and helping propagate the species to other people. So would you like to try to hold the big snake?
You want to tell the world how you kind of put her in my face while I was sleeping today?
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. While we were driving, Cristina had fallen asleep, and I put the bin with Stardust here up next to Cristina. I was gonna take a picture and show Cristina, oh hey look, you've already been right next to the snake. And well, Cristina, I hit a bump in the road while I was doing this. I probably shouldn't have been doing this driving. Sorry, California. Anyway, I hit a bump and tapped her face with the deli cup that the snake was in, and she woke up screaming. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. So do you want to try to hold her again? Are they scary? Now that you've been close to them and interacted with them a little bit?
No.
They're actually softer than lizards, aren't they?
Kind of.
They feel nicer than lizards.
And they don't have the ridiculous claws like Clyde.
Yeah, so for anyone this is the first video you're watching, we got our start as a family in this business with Australian water dragons, which are a semi-arboreal species, and they have claws for climbing. So, do you think you're going to be okay around snakes?
With these guys, see, I agreed to hognose snakes because they're pretty cute. I will give them that. I don't know about other snakes, but I agreed to hognose snakes because if you look at their little faces, their faces are not creepy. They have pretty cute little faces. So that is why I agreed to them for my starter snakes, I guess. And
yes, we also said that we bought these guys at a gas station. We bought these guys from Geckos Etc. Not Echoes, etc. Geckos, etc. Let's try that again. And they don't allow the public into their facility, so they meet at a gas station in Rockland to hand over the snakes. They were already paid for. We knew what we were getting. It was not some shady drug deal, although it kind of felt that way when I met someone at a gas station. They handed me 2 containers and we took off. But no, it was all on the up and up. So I think now I'm gonna get some footage of these guys so that we can add it to the video, and then I'm gonna put them in their cages, get some footage of their janky cages that are set up right now.
They are not janky. They are fish tanks. Just temporarily.
You didn't see how I set up heating though. It's pretty janky.
It's just temporary. Just temporary until their reptile enclosures come in. And
I guess before I put them away, I should say that these guys, all of them, have been kept in small bins. That's what most breeders do with the babies. And actually, that's okay, right? The babies in particular are very nervous. These guys are pretty small. A lot of things can predate on them, and they're pretty nervous animals. And actually, snakes like to be able to roll up in a ball and touch both sides of their hollow, or their hide, as we call it in the hobby. So they like small confined spaces. So that's not cruel to these guys. So we're moving these guys from what are essentially 1 foot by 3 inch bins into long term. They're gonna be in a 48 inch by 24 inch by 12 inch enclosure, which is a pretty big enclosure for these guys. Most people say, that's we've shown the lizard mansion in the past. Well, this is going to be these are going to be hognose mansions, right? So we try to overdo it for our animals, but in order to get them comfortable and feeling safe in something that large, it's going to make sense to move them up from where they've been.
And wait till we do our video with all the goodies for decorating their new snaky mansions. I'm very excited about that.
Wait, you want to pet her goodbye? Oh, you want to hold her?
I'll take her.
That's a big change from someone who didn't like snakes at all, didn't want anything to do with snakes.
Yeah, I will take her.
Yeah, that's about it. Stay tuned for more videos. Make sure to like and subscribe. We've got a whopping 4 subscribers last time I checked, so we're growing fast. That's infinitely more than the 0 we started with.
Yeah.
Statistics are fun, people. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye.
Yeah, I am not kissing a snake, Jeremy.